Hello and welcome to another episode of Southern Football Clash. I'm your host, Justin Johnson. Now, what am I talking about today? Let's talk about these teams who have the possibility of getting into the SEC championship. That's right, I'm talking about Alabama, Texas A&M, Georgia, and Ole Miss. All right, let's talk about what it's going to take for these teams to get in. Alabama. Look, they probably got the best strength of schedule in the SEC right now. And all they've got to do is beat Auburn, and you're in. That's the championship, point blank, period. That's how it is. But if you lose to Auburn, of course, you're going to go with 3 losses, and you're not going to go to SEC championship. And that is what would keep Alabama out of the SEC championship. So, like I said, Alabama, you got to just win out. You just got to beat Auburn. That's the only thing in your way. Next, okay, Texas A&M. Well, people say, well, Texas A&M, even if they lose, shouldn't they be in? No, that is not correct. Texas A&M, if they beat Texas, of course they're in. Of course, Texas A&M be completely undefeated in the SEC. You cannot make a better point of them getting in. But if they lose to Texas, that means Georgia will jump over them, and if Alabama wins, that means you will get Alabama and Georgia again in the SEC championship. Now, I don't know if Georgia wants that to happen. Georgia might be pulling from Texas A&M to just go ahead and beat Texas so they don't have to go in there and get another loss. But will the committee, well, they said they were supposed to be looking at, if you lost your conference championship, they wouldn't fault you as hard. But we'll see on that and how far that goes. But I'm sure Georgia doesn't even want to take the risk. I don't even think they want to go to the SEC championship. I think they're fine with Texas A&M and maybe Alabama going. Now, if Alabama loses and Texas A&M wins and gets in Georgia, that is another way for Georgia. It will be Georgia and Texas A&M in the SEC championship. That is a way Georgia can get in for them. Georgia can get in 2 ways, with either Alabama losing or Texas A&M losing, or with both of them losing. That is the way Georgia gets in. Now, let's talk about Ole Miss. Ole Miss probably has the longest shot out of all of them. They need Alabama and Texas A&M both to lose. If they both lose, then that means Ole Miss and Georgia will play in the SEC championship, and that's how Ole Miss could get in. Now, I know the whole thing going on with Lane Kiffin has been a complete mess, and Ole Miss fans are just completely down and out about it, and I don't blame you. There's talk that LSU has offered him $90 million for 7 years and $25 million annually for NIL. Now, if I'm Lane Kiffin, I'm looking at the Brian Kelly scenario, and I'm going, wait a minute, you're not wanting to pay him. Why would you want to pay me? I don't know where this makes sense. Is Lane Kiffin just putting a big troll all over it? They say that Florida is done move on and looking elsewhere. And, I'm just going to say, Auburn's probably ahead of both of them right now at this point, looking at John Summerall. And I said John Summerall would go to Auburn, so we'll see. It ain't confirmed yet. We have no idea. But let's look back at those 4 teams that can make the SEC championship. Who have they got this week? Well, of course, you got rivalry week. You got Ole Miss. They're going to be playing at 11 a.m. Ole Miss versus Mississippi State. That could be a good game. I have Ole Miss in that game. Let's look at the spread real quick. What do they have for that? The spread right now is favoring Ole Miss by just 7. All right. I wouldn't say that. I say Ole Miss by 14. That's what I say. I say Ole Miss over Mississippi State by 14. I think that's a little low. Maybe 10. 10 I would buy into it. But, hey, Mississippi State's hasn't been terrible. They've been better, but I give Ole Miss the win on that. So they need to win Georgia. Georgia will be playing Georgia Tech at 2:30 p.m. Now, I know what you're saying. It's just Georgia Tech. Well, Georgia Tech has put up a fight Old Brent Keys has been getting it done over there, been putting up a fight with Georgia for the past couple of years. So don't think this is no walk in the park for Georgia. And I can definitely tell you that Kirby Smart is not overlooking this game. Georgia Tech, if they win this right here, this could really help them, So, they're 9-2. This could help their talk for them getting into maybe the college football playoffs. But give me Georgia. Georgia's just been that team you can't keep down, and they look like they just keep getting better and better. So give me Georgia to win. Let's look what the spread is right now. The spread for that is favoring Georgia by 13 points. Yeah, I like that. I really do. But will it be closer? I think it could be closer. Definitely be closer than that. Unless Georgia just comes out there with their heads on fire. But Georgia Tech, they always give you a run for your money. This is turning out to be a good rivalry. I'll tell you that. I always tune into it. All right. Now we talked about Texas A&M and Texas. Texas, has had it rough. Haven't been, they got beat by Georgia. That knocked them out. Now let's look at, of course, I think Texas A&M is going to go in there and roll over Texas. But, anything can happen. But let's look at the spread. It's favoring Texas A&M by 2.5. That is what they're favoring them. I don't know. I wouldn't say that. I'd say at least 7 to 10 points. I would give Texas A&M over Texas. And I know what you're saying. Well, A&M ain't played nobody. I think they played some pretty good teams. I mean, Notre Dame being one of the top of them. Notre Dame is not even having to play a conference game. They're just having a ride right now. They're in cruise mode. That's all they got to do. I think they ought to be. They should join a conference. They just get it easy every year. Of course, just float on in there. But anyway, let's not talk. We're going to get out of that. So Texas A&M, they said they get your favorite by 2.5. I say by 10 or at least 14. So those are the teams that could get in. Another one that has it on the line is Oklahoma. Oklahoma, if you want to make it to the college football playoffs, you need to beat LSU. You really do right here. That's just what you got to do. So they're kind of on the line to get in. Vanderbilt's also another one that could possibly get in, but I don't know if they will. They might be on the outside looking out. But Oklahoma, you got to beat LSU. And from what I seen last week, I don't think that's going to be too bad. Well, Western Kentucky was running down LSU. I'm surprised LSU won that game after that performance. But, like I said, those 4 teams, Alabama, Ole Miss, Texas A&M, and Georgia, those are the teams that you're looking to get into the SEC championship. If all them teams win this week, they're all probably going to the playoffs. Alabama, I don't know if they lose the SEC championship and if they're going to keep them out. That is a 3-loss team. But do you keep them out or in because they play in the SEC championship? I don't know. Alabama, I know they beat, people don't like what they said from Ty Simpson in that Northern Illinois game. I get it. He didn't look the best. But, I think in that game, they're not, I don't think they're worried about Ty Simpson. You've seen how many times they ran it. I think that's what they were trying to establish. I think they just told Ty Simpson, go out there, throw, and give it to that Northern Illinois player. That was a spectacular jump up and catch. And the second one doesn't really even count. I mean, he threw a Hail Mary in the end zone to end in the first half. I mean, come on. I mean, the guy's still a good quarterback. Everybody who's hating on him says, take him out. Y'all need to get off. Y'all are just bandwagoning. That's it. I'm sick and tired of these bandwagon Alabama fans. Let's get rid of Kalen DeBoer. Let's get Ty Simpson out of there. You know what you need to do is get on somewhere. I'm sick of it. I'm an Alabama fan, and I'm about sick and tired of these fake Alabama fans. Get out. Nobody likes you. I hate to tell you that. No, I don't hate to tell you that. You need to hear that. That's what it needs to be. And another thing, I don't talk really a lot on the other conference, but Ohio State talking about Alabama, and they're really talking on the SEC. All these Ohio State fans out here talking about the SEC playing a bunch of cupcakes this week. Ohio State, you didn't play nothing but cupcakes your whole daggum season. Cupcake after cupcake. I wonder if all them cupcakes are going to make that head swell a little big, so when you get into the playoffs, you might get your tail whooped by an SEC team. Talk all that smack. Yeah, Julian Sayin looks good up against a bunch of high school teams. Ohio State, you ain't played nobody. The best win I think you have is Pittsburgh. Come on now. And Texas, well, we beat Texas. Oh, yeah, Georgia? You talking about the one that Georgia went out there and beat by 20-something points? Come on now. Oh, you Ohio State people. Ohio State, the best team out there. Yeah, of course, when you're playing high school teams, every daggum week, talking crap on Alabama and every other SEC team. Really been dogging Alabama. I mean, played ranked game after ranked game and lost to Oklahoma. Yes, we lost. Yes, they lost to Florida State. That's in the beginning. That was first Ty Simpson's true start. But anyway, I'm going to get off of that. That got me right up. Georgia. Hey, man. I've said it before. Kirby Smart is the best coach in the SEC. Best coach in college football. That is what that guy does. He goes, you think this team is down, and that guy just finds a way to bring it. Best halftime coach there is. Best at making halftime adjustments. You can't keep Georgia down. The only one that ever do it is Alabama. That's the only one. But this team will come back at you hard. So, they're going to go hard. Ole Miss, I feel bad for you. Hopefully Lane Kiffin doesn't go. Maybe he's just trolling everybody. Maybe it is. LSU is willing to. I don't know how that can look good for Lane Kiffin. Seeing what they're doing with Brian Kelly right now, I figured if he's going to go anywhere, he'd go to Florida. He likes Steve. He's a big fan of Steve Spurrier. I can't say the word. I can't say his last name. But you think he would go there. But it says that Florida's really not in it. I don't know. They are. Maybe. I have no idea. It's just a bunch of hearsay until somebody comes out and literally says something. And that's all for that. But thank you guys for tuning in. That is all I have for these teams that are in the running for the SEC championship. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for the views. Thank you for everything that you guys do. I appreciate it. Hope you guys enjoy it. Who do you think is going to be in the SEC championship? Put it in the comments down below. If you like this, please subscribe on YouTube. Try to give me the 50 subscribers. That way I can go live on YouTube. That way you can hear it first. Appreciate you guys so much. Thank you. And thank you for listening to another episode of Southern Football Clash. And I hope to see you guys on the next one. And y'all enjoy the rivalry week. I'll be back on here and talk a little bit more before this weekend. But thank you guys so much. And thank you for tuning in. I appreciate all you guys. Y'all have a great one and good night.